All right, so it says Angela used her 75-cent off coupon to buy a roll of film for her camera. All right, so the 75-cent off coupon to buy this film for a camera. If the film was priced at roughly $4, the tax was 31 cents. How much change did she receive if she paid a bill? If she paid the bill, it was a $5 bill. All right, so let's take a look at this. All right, so she bought this film. All right, let's see if we can how are we gonna work this out here? All right, so she bought this film. All right, there we go. She bought this film, and the film cost $3.98, but she had a 75-cent off coupon. Well, what that means is she bought this film that came at a price of $3.98. Whenever you have a coupon, they take the 75 cents off of whatever it is that you bought. They take the 75 cents off of whatever you bought. So the film cost $3.98, but the coupon said you didn't have to pay for 75 cents of that. So let's subtract 75 cents off right away. All right, so then they say that the tax was 31 cents. All right, so what that means is you have to pay 31 cents. All right, you're going to have to pay 31 cents. So you got to take that 30, you got to add 38 cents to whatever it is. You got to add 38 cents to whatever it is you were buying. Oh, sorry, 31 cents. Forgive me. All right, 31 cents. So you bought this $3.98 film. The coupon says you can take 75 cents off, but you always have to pay tax on whatever you pay for. All right, so that means you're going to add 31 cents to whatever it is that you bought. All right, so now what's going to happen is they said you pay with a $5 bill. You paid with a $5 bill. So you gave the cashier $5, and the money that you're actually paying is a sum, and in this case, a difference of all of that. So you gave the cashier $5. This is the amount of the item that you purchased. The coupon was 75 cents. You didn't have to pay for that. And then the tax was 31 cents, and then you paid the cashier $5. So they're not asking you to figure out what this is for this particular problem. What they want you to do is match this work up with one of these answers. And I'd like you to be able to see that would actually be, it appears to be this one right here. Even though I've got my number switched around here, this is the same thing as number 1. All right, final answer. So the answer would be number 1. All right, so there are other problems I'd like to go to. All right, so here's another problem here. The one right below it. It says the waiter, Jorge, was responsible for 4 tables. The waiter was responsible for 4 tables. His customer left tips of $5, $7, $3, and $9. What's the average tip per table? Well, the way you find an average of anything is what you should do is just add whatever it is you're averaging and divide by the number of items that you are averaging. So here you have 5 plus 7 plus 3 plus 9. There are 4 items, so you would just divide by the 4. Average is a very, very important concept. Final answer there would be 3. So that problem wasn't very difficult at all. What is the average increase in enrollment per school? Here's a problem where they give you a chart here, and that chart is information that will assist you in answering multiple problems. It looks as though for this problem, because the numbers are rather large, we're going to need a calculator. So let me go grab my calculator. It says which school had the greatest increase in enrollment. That's 5. Which school had the greatest increase in enrollment? Well, what you'd have to do here is subtract. You'd have to subtract, do a lot of subtraction here. So you'd have 1686 minus 1420. All right, so for Lincoln, the increase is 266. And then for Meade, you take the 1982 and subtract out 1650, and the increase for Meade would be 332. And then Sandburg, you would subtract 2,234, subtract 1847. That increase for Sandburg, that increase is 387. You do the same thing for Austin. Austin, you take 1,648, you subtract 1,296. That increase for Austin is 352. And then finally for Edison, you would find the increase for Edison, you take this 1,846, and then you subtract 1,318, and you'd get 528. All right, so which school had the greatest increase in enrollment? That would be Edison had the greatest increase. All right, so that's a not too bad a problem. So final answer there would be 5. All right, 5. Final answer. All right, Edison had the greatest increase. Last problem that I think we're going to have time for is, here's another average problem. Problem says, what is the average increase in enrollment per school district? What's the average increase in enrollment? Well, each of these represent the enrollment increases. What you'd have to do is to find the average enrollment increase. You'd have the average of each of these numbers. So this problem is similar to the problem that we did a little bit earlier in the show. So now what you would do is you'd add each of these up. You'd add each of these up. The 266, plus the 332, plus the 387, plus the 352, plus the 528, and you would divide that by the number of enrollment increases, which is 5. All right, so at 5, so you'd add all this up. You take 266 plus 332 plus 387 plus 352 plus 528. You would divide that by 5, and you'd get 373. You'd get 373, and that is answer for this one, number 1.